I was the first to notice. My mother wasn't my mother anymore. It started the night my father died. The village elders said it was a fever, that his body had given up. But I knew that wasn't true. I heard him screaming in the night. I heard the wet tearing of flesh, the snapping of bones. When I ran to his hut, my mother was already there, standing over him. Her hands were red. Her mouth was red. She wiped her lips and turned to me, smiling. He is with the ancestors now. That was the first lie. The next morning, his body was gone. The villagers buried an empty coffin. After that night, my mother began to change. Her skin was different, too tight, too stretched, like something was wearing her from the inside. Her voice became softer, almost a whisper, but it crawled into my ears and stayed there. Her smile never faded. Even when she slept, her lips stayed curled, her teeth peeking out from behind them. And her eyes. They weren't my mother's anymore. They were too black, too deep, like if I stared too long, I would fall inside and never come back. But the worst thing? She never blinked. One night, I woke up to a sound outside my hut. A low, wet chewing. A sucking noise, like meat being ripped apart. I crept to the doorway and looked out. My mother was crouched over something. Something alive. It was the neighbor's child. Her hands gripped his little arms, holding him still as she pressed her face to his stomach. Her teeth tore into him, pulling away strips of flesh. The boy twitched, his body convulsing, but he didn't scream. Because his throat was already gone. I clamped my hands over my mouth. My body locked in place. Then, she stopped eating. Slowly, her head turned. And she looked right at me. Her mouth was dripping. Her eyes were hungry. Come here, my son. Her voice was wrong. Stretched. Not human. I ran. I didn't stop. I didn't look back. But as I reached the jungle, I heard her whisper behind me. A sound that wasn't words. A sound that didn't belong in this world. And I knew. My mother was gone. Something else was wearing her skin. And it wanted me next. I hid in the jungle for 2 days. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I just listened. Because I knew she was looking for me. I could hear her. Not footsteps. Something worse. A soft clicking sound, like bones knocking together. Slow, steady. Moving through the trees. She wasn't calling my name anymore. She was laughing. A low, a breathless giggle echoing through the jungle. I covered my ears, but it was inside me. Then, on the third night, I saw her. She stood at the edge of the trees, her head tilted at an unnatural angle. Her neck was too long now. Her arms hung limply, her fingers twitching like they were trying to remember how to move. And her face. Her face was wrong. Her skin sagged, like something too big was underneath, stretching it from the inside. Her mouth split into a grin, wider than it should be. Her voice slithered into my ears. Come home, my son. She took a step forward. Her legs buckled, the bones bending the wrong way. Her jaw popped, unhinging slightly. I screamed. I ran. The jungle closed in around me, but I didn't stop. I could hear her behind me, moving fast, her joints snapping, her breath wheezing. She wasn't walking. She was crawling. Closer. Closer. Her fingers brushed my ankle. I burst out of the trees, into the village. The elders were there, their eyes wide. She is not my mother. I cried. She is something else. The elders didn't move. Didn't speak. Then slowly. They smiled. Their teeth were red. Their eyes were black. and in the jungle behind me. I stepped back. The elders still smiled, their black eyes gleaming in the firelight. Their teeth, sharp, red, wrong, flashed as they stared at me. Behind me, in the jungle, my mother waited. Click, click, click. The sound of our bones knocking together. The sound of something moving in the dark. I was trapped. The elders stepped forward. Their movements were slow, careful, like they didn't want to scare me. Come, child, the chief whispered. His lips barely moved. His voice slid into my ears, cold and slick. You are one of us. You have always been one of us. No. No, I wasn't. I wouldn't be. I turned and ran toward the nearest hut. The elders lunged, their fingers stretching unnaturally long, their nails sharp. I barely slipped past them, shoving through the doorway and slamming the wooden door behind me. The hut was dark. The smell of blood filled my nose. I turned and froze. Something was in the corner. A shape. Hunched. Twitching. The fire outside flickered through the window, lighting up its face. I almost screamed. It was my father. Or what was left of him. His skin sagged, his body thin, like he had been hollowed out. His lips moved, but no words came out. Only a wet, gurgling sound. Then, his chest opened. A long, thin hand, covered in his skin, pushed out from the inside. I ran. I threw myself out of the hut, rolling onto the dirt. The elders were waiting. Their mouths had split open, stretching up to their ears. Their fingers curled like claws. Their necks bent at impossible angles, heads tilting from side to side. You cannot leave, the chief whispered. His jaw snapped open, his teeth too many, too sharp. You belong to us. I turned. The jungle. It was my only chance. I ran toward it. But she was already there. My mother. Her smile had split too wide, stretching beyond her cheeks. Her jaw hung loose, her throat pulsing, something moving beneath her skin. She opened her arms. My son, she whispered. I screamed. And the whole elders laughed. Their voices twisted together, melting into a sound that didn't belong in this world. A chorus of hunger. Of things that should not be. Then everything went black. Darkness. Silence. Then, the sound of breathing. Not mine. I opened my eyes. I was inside my family's hut. The walls pulsed like living flesh, the air thick with the smell of blood and something rotting. I tried to move. I couldn't. My arms and legs were tied down with something warm. Something that twitched. Not rope. Veins. I sucked in a breath, my body shaking. My mother sat beside me, her head tilted at an unnatural angle. Her skin drooped, sagging like it didn't fit her bones anymore. She smiled. You slept for so long, she whispered. Her voice wasn't hers. Her jaw snapped open, revealing rows of jagged teeth. Now, it is time to eat. She lifted something and placed it in my lap. My stomach dropped. It was a human hand. Still fresh. Still bleeding. I looked up at her, my throat closing. No, I croaked. I won't. Her grin stretched too wide. You will. The elders stood behind her now, their bodies thin and stretched, their eyes black pits. Eat, they whispered. Their voices slid under my skin, crawling into my head. I clenched my teeth. I wouldn't. I refused. Then, my stomach growled. Loud. Painful. A deep, sharp hunger ripped through me, burning, twisting. My hands shook. My body wanted it. No. No. I shut my eyes. My breath came fast, my chest rising and falling. I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't become them. Then I heard it. A soft, wet sound. Chewing. I looked down. And froze. My hands were red. The hand in my lap was half gone. The flesh between my teeth was still warm. I stared in horror. I had already started eating. My mother laughed. The elders laughed. And inside me, the hunger laughed too. The laughter filled my ears. It was inside me now, crawling through my veins, whispering in my bones. The hunger burned, twisting my stomach, making my teeth itch, begging for more. I looked down at my bloody hands. At the half-eaten flesh between my fingers. I had started eating. But I wasn't gone yet. Not yet. I forced myself to spit it out, wiping my mouth with my sleeve. The taste clung to my tongue, the hunger screaming inside me. My mother's black eyes watched me, her head tilting too far. "Why do you fight?" she whispered. The elders crept closer, their faces stretching into monstrous grins. "You are one of us," they chanted. "No," I gritted my teeth. "I am not." I yanked my hands free from the veins that held me down. They writhed like snakes, trying to coil around me again, but I ripped them apart. My legs were still trapped, I had to move fast. My mother lunged. Her jaw unhinged, her mouth stretching wider than a human's should. I grabbed the closest thing, a burning log from the fire pit, and shoved it into her mouth. She screamed. Her body convulsed, the fire eating through her sagging skin. The stench of burning flesh filled the hut. Her eyes rolled back, her limbs twisting as if something inside her was trying to crawl out. The elders shrieked, covering their faces. They were afraid of the fire. That was it. That was how I would end this. I grabbed another burning log and threw it at the wall. The dry straw caught instantly, flames spreading fast. The hut was alive, I could hear it groaning, the walls pulsing. The fire crawled across the ground, licking at the elders' feet. They howled. Their faces melted like wax, revealing the things beneath. Not human. Not even close. I kicked free from the last of the veins and ran. The fire spread behind me, swallowing everything. The huts, the symbols, the monsters that wore human faces. I ran past the village gates, past the screaming figures, into the jungle. For the first time, I didn't hear her following me. No clicking bones. No laughter. No whispers. Just the sound of flames consuming everything. And then, silence. I didn't stop running until the sun began to rise. The village was gone. Burned to the ground. I collapsed near the river, my breath heavy. The hunger was still there, deep inside me, but it was weaker now. I would fight it. I would never let it win. I had survived. And I was free.